Welcome to English Lab.
Have you ever looked at your computer screen and thought, is this machine going to steal my job tomorrow? It is a really frightening thought.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Lab podcast. I am Dylan.
And I am Emily. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that is everywhere right now. Artificial intelligence, or AI, and the fear of losing our jobs.
Exactly. It feels like AI is replacing everything. People are terrified. But today, we want to look at real, practical solutions to stay safe.
Let's slow down. I remember the exact moment I realized AI was getting really smart. I was sitting in my favorite coffee shop.
Oh, I know that coffee shop. Was it the one near the old library? The one with the green chairs and the amazing chocolate cake?
Yes, that one. Anyway, I was struggling to write a very long, difficult email to a client. I used an AI tool, and it wrote the perfect email instantly.
Instantly? That means right away, without any delay. That is incredible, but also a bit frightening. Frightening is a great synonym for scary for our listeners.
Right. For example, watching a horror movie alone in a huge dark house at night is very frightening. Or losing your passport in a foreign country is a frightening experience.
Those are excellent examples. So, when you saw the AI write that long email instantly, did you feel a little obsolete?
Obsolete. That is a fantastic vocabulary word for our B1 and B2 learners. Obsolete means something is no longer needed because something newer and much better exists.
Exactly. Like old cassette tapes. They are obsolete because we have streaming music on our smartphones now. Almost nobody buys cassette tapes anymore.
Another perfect example of obsolete is the old fax machine. We use emails and instant messaging now, so fax machines are completely obsolete in modern offices.
Great examples. And you? Are you worried about AI taking your job and making your skills obsolete? Tell us in the comments.
So, going back to your coffee shop story, did you panic when you saw the AI do your job so easily? Panic means to feel sudden, uncontrollable fear.
I did panic a little bit. I just stared at my laptop screen and thought, what do I do now? Am I completely useless?
I had a very similar experience last week. I was trying to create a nice picture for our podcast channel. I spent 3 whole hours drawing it.
3 hours? You are not very good at drawing, to be honest. I remember that picture of a dog you drew last year. It looked exactly like a potato.
Hey, that is not fair. But yes, I admit I am bad at drawing, so I asked an AI image generator to make the picture instead.
Let me guess. The artificial intelligence created a beautiful, professional picture in just a few seconds, completely effortlessly.
Yes. It was an absolute masterpiece. A masterpiece is a work of outstanding artistry or skill, like the famous Mona Lisa painting in the museum in Paris.
Or like a really delicious, perfectly cooked traditional pizza from Naples. That can definitely be a culinary masterpiece, so the AI made a visual masterpiece.
Exactly. And honestly, it made me wonder about all the professional graphic designers out there. Are their jobs going to disappear completely?
That is the big question everyone is asking right now. Disappear means to stop existing or stop being visible, like when the sun disappears behind a very dark storm cloud.
Or when my favorite chocolate cookies disappear because you ate them all while I was not looking in the kitchen yesterday.
Haha, very funny. I only ate two. But seriously, the fear is very real. Many people feel like they are competing against a machine that never ever sleeps.
A machine that never takes a long coffee break, never gets sick, and never asks the boss for a higher salary. It is a very tough competition.
But here is the good news for our listeners. We are not just going to talk about the fear today. We promised practical solutions to stay relevant.
Relevant is a very important word here. It means closely connected or appropriate to what is happening right now in the world. You want to stay useful and needed.
For example, learning new computer skills keeps you relevant in the modern job market. If you only know how to use a heavy old typewriter, you are not relevant.
Another example, if you are a teacher, learning how to use digital whiteboards and online video tools keeps you relevant for today's young, tech-savvy students. You simply must adapt.
So, how do we actually stay relevant when AI is getting so incredibly smart? The first big step is to completely change our mindset before we do anything else.
Changing our mindset is absolutely crucial in this situation. Mindset is simply the way you think about things, your habits of thought, and your general attitude towards the world around you.
Exactly. For example, having a positive mindset means you actively look for the good things in a difficult situation, like finding a fun new indoor hobby when it is raining heavily outside all weekend.
Another perfect example is having a growth mindset. This means you truly believe you can learn new things, like deciding to study the Japanese language at age 50 instead of just saying it is completely impossible.
I really tried to have a strong growth mindset when I decided to learn how to cook complicated French food last year. Honestly, it was a complete and total disaster at first.
Oh, I clearly remember that terrible evening. You invited me over for a very fancy French dinner, and the roasted chicken was completely burnt. It tasted exactly like a piece of black charcoal.
Hey, it was not that incredibly bad. Okay, maybe it was a little too crispy on the outside, but I did not give up. I practiced every weekend, and now I can make a beautiful, perfect quiche.
That is absolutely true. Your cheese and spinach quiche is amazing now. And that little story shows exactly what we need to do with AI. We must become incredibly adaptable.
Adaptable. That is a brilliant and very useful word for our English learners today. Adaptable means being able to change successfully in order to deal with totally new and different situations.
For instance, animals that live in the harsh desert are very adaptable. They naturally learn to survive with very little water and extreme burning heat during the long, dry summer days.
Or think about a highly successful modern business. A local bookstore that starts selling digital audiobooks online is adaptable, while a store that only sells heavy paper books might close down very soon.
So, instead of sitting at home crying because a computer program can write an email or draw a nice picture, we urgently need to adapt. We need to focus on what makes us uniquely human.
What exactly makes us uniquely human? That is a very deep, almost philosophical question. For me personally, it is our amazing ability to understand complex feelings. AI simply does not have real emotions.
That is absolutely and entirely correct. Artificial intelligence cannot genuinely feel deep sadness, pure joy, or nervous excitement. It merely processes cold data and mathematical numbers. Humans, however, possess something wonderful called empathy.
Empathy is a fantastic B2 level vocabulary word. It essentially means the vital ability to understand and truly share the feelings of another person. It is like putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Right? For example, if your best friend tragically loses their beloved pet dog, you feel deep, crushing sadness for them. You might even cry with them. That is pure empathy, and a cold machine cannot do that.
Another great, clear example of empathy is a kind, caring nurse in a busy hospital. A metal robot can deliver medicine, but a human nurse holds a scared patient's hand and warmly comforts them before a major surgery.
Exactly. That warm, genuine human connection is entirely irreplaceable. Irreplaceable means something is so incredibly special, unique, or valuable that absolutely nothing else can take its place or do its specific job.
Like my dear grandmother's secret family recipe for sweet apple pie. It is completely irreplaceable. No expensive, fancy bakery anywhere in the entire world can make a pie that tastes exactly like hers.
Or a long, beautiful handwritten letter from your best friend who lives far away in another country. A quick text message is fast, but that physical piece of paper with their actual handwriting is totally irreplaceable.
So practically speaking, if you really want to keep your job safe from robots, you need to actively improve your soft skills. Soft skills are personal attributes that enable someone to interact effectively and harmoniously with other people.
Soft skills include vital things like clear communication, collaborative teamwork, and creative problem solving. An AI might be able to calculate complex numbers instantly, but it is terrible at managing a team of stressed, tired people.
I totally and completely agree with you. Just try to imagine an AI trying to magically resolve a huge, angry, shouting argument between two stubborn coworkers in the busy office. It would be an absolute disaster.
The artificial intelligence would probably just send them a cold, boring, extremely long email with a strict list of company rules. A smart human manager can sit down, actively listen, and find a peaceful, fair compromise.
That is exactly why jobs that require deep human interaction, complex negotiation, and high emotional intelligence will be very safe from AI for a very, very long time into the future.
Jobs like compassionate therapists, dedicated social workers, truly great teachers, and excellent, friendly salespeople who build real, trusting relationships with their loyal clients. People naturally want to buy from people they genuinely like and trust.
Speaking of buying things, do you happen to remember that absolutely terrible salesperson we met at the huge car dealership last month? He had zero soft skills whatsoever.
Oh my goodness, yes. I remember him clearly. He did not listen to a single word we said. We asked politely for a small, cheap, economical city car, and he aggressively tried to sell us a giant, expensive red truck.
He was literally just repeating a memorized sales script over and over again like a broken, annoying robot. Ironically, an AI could probably do his specific job much better because he had no human empathy at all.
That is a very scary but incredibly true point. If you act like a mindless, repetitive robot at your daily job, you will definitely and quickly be replaced by a real, efficient robot very soon.
Exactly. We need to stop being repetitive. Repetitive means doing the exact same thing over and over again, like a machine. It is quite boring, isn't it?
It is extremely boring. For example, a repetitive job is putting the same plastic lid on 1,000 glass bottles every single day in a huge, noisy factory.
Another clear example of a repetitive task is entering long lists of names and phone numbers into a computer database for 8 hours without stopping. A simple computer program can do that task perfectly.
So, if your job is repetitive, you are in danger. But don't worry, here is the second practical solution. You must learn to work with AI, not against it. We call this coexisting.
Coexisting. That is a sophisticated B2 word. It means living or existing together at the same time and in the same place, peacefully and productively.
Think about a beautiful garden where different types of colorful flowers and busy green plants coexist perfectly. They don't fight, they share the sunlight and the water.
Or imagine a modern pilot in a big airplane. The pilot and the autopilot computer coexist in the cockpit. The computer flies the plane during the long, quiet flight, but the human pilot takes control during a difficult, dangerous landing.
That is a perfect analogy. An analogy is a comparison between two things that helps you understand a difficult idea, like comparing a human brain to a powerful, complex computer.
So, how can we coexist with AI in our daily office work? We should use it as a digital assistant. It can do the boring, tedious parts of our job while we focus on the creative, fun parts.
Tedious is a fantastic word. It describes a task that is very long, slow, and incredibly dull. It makes you want to fall asleep at your desk.
Cleaning a very large, dirty house with a tiny toothbrush would be an incredibly tedious task. Or reading a 500-page legal document full of small text is very tedious for most people.
I agree. So, let AI do the tedious work. If I have to summarize a very long, boring meeting, I ask the AI to do it. Then, I use my human brain to decide what the most important takeaway is.
A takeaway is the main message or a piece of important information that you learn from something like a meeting, a book, or even this podcast episode.
Exactly. My takeaway from using AI is that it saves me so much time. Last month, I had to plan a huge business trip to Tokyo for 5 different people. It was a logistical nightmare.
A logistical nightmare. That sounds very stressful. Logistics is the detailed organization and implementation of a very complex operation or plan.
It was. I had to find 5 different flights, 3 different hotels, and book 5 different dinner reservations at restaurants that everyone liked. I felt like my head was going to explode.
I can imagine. Did you spend 3 whole days looking at travel websites and reading thousands of reviews on the internet?
I started to. But then I stopped and asked an AI tool to create a detailed travel itinerary for me. An itinerary is a planned route or journey, including all the dates and times.
For example, if you go on a vacation to Italy, your itinerary might include 2 days in Rome, 1 day in Florence, and 3 days in beautiful Venice.
The AI created a perfect itinerary in just 2 minutes. It found the best hotels and the most popular restaurants near the office in Tokyo. It was incredible and saved me 10 hours of work.
10 hours. That is a lot of extra time. What did you do with those 10 extra hours? Did you go to the gym or watch a long movie?
Actually, I used that time to prepare a very creative, high-quality presentation for the meeting in Tokyo. I focused on the big ideas and the human strategy, which the AI cannot do.
That is the secret to staying safe. You used the AI to handle the boring logistics, and you used your human creativity to do the high-level work. You were a team.
We were a great team. But Dylan, some people say that AI is becoming creative too. It can write poems, compose beautiful music, and even write movie scripts now.
That is true. But AI creativity is different. It just looks at millions of things humans have already made and mixes them together. It doesn't have a new, original spark.
An original spark. I love that phrase. It means a completely new idea that nobody has ever thought of before. Like when a scientist discovers a new medicine.
Or like when a chef creates a completely new flavor of ice cream, like spicy chocolate with sea salt and black pepper. A machine wouldn't think of that combination because it sounds strange.
Exactly. Humans are good at being strange and unpredictable. Machines are predictable. Being unpredictable can be a very good thing in the world of art and business.
Unpredictable means you don't know what is going to happen next. Like the weather in London in April, it can be sunny one minute and raining the next.
Or like a very exciting football match where the smallest, weakest team wins against the biggest, strongest team in the final minute. That is unpredictable and very emotional.
So, solution number 3 is lean into your unique, unpredictable creativity. Don't try to be perfect like a machine. Be messy, be different, and be original.
I love that advice, Dylan. Being messy is actually a very human strength. Machines hate mess. They want perfect patterns and clean data. But life is messy.
It really is. Think about a beautiful old garden. It isn't perfect like a plastic lawn. It has weeds, different colors, and unexpected flowers growing in the corners. That is what makes it charming.
Charming. That is a lovely B1 word. It means very pleasant or attractive in a unique way. Like a small, quiet village with stone houses and narrow streets.
Or like a person with a very charming personality who makes everyone feel happy and relaxed at a big, nervous party. You can't program a robot to be genuinely charming.
Exactly. And that brings us to our fourth and final practical solution. Continuous learning. In the age of AI, you can never stop being a student.
Continuous learning sounds a bit exhausting. Does it mean I have to go back to university and study for another 4 long years?
Not at all. Continuous learning simply means having a lifelong curiosity. It means you are always open to gaining new knowledge or skills throughout your whole life.
I see. For example, my grandfather is 80 years old, but he just learned how to use a tablet to paint digital pictures. He is a lifelong learner.
He is a perfect example. Or a chef who has cooked Italian food for 20 years but decides to take a weekend class to learn how to make spicy Thai curries.
That keeps your brain sharp and flexible. If you stop learning, your skills will become stale. And stale is a great word, usually used for old bread that is hard and dry.
Right. If you leave a loaf of bread on the kitchen table for a week, it becomes stale and you can't eat it. Or if you don't exercise, your muscles feel stale and weak.
In the same way, if you don't update your professional skills, your career becomes stale. You become easy to replace because you are using old, slow methods.
So, to stay ahead of AI, you should spend at least 30 minutes every day learning something new. It could be a new language, a new software, or even a new way to communicate.
Like our listeners right now, by listening to the English Lab podcast, they are practicing continuous learning. They are improving their English and learning about technology at the same time.
Precisely. They are killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That is a common English idiom. It means achieving 2 different things at the same time with just 1 action.
For example, if you walk to work instead of taking the bus, you save money and you get exercise. You are killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Or if you watch a movie in English with subtitles, you are being entertained and practicing your listening skills. Two birds, one stone.
So, let's summarize our 4 solutions for surviving the AI revolution. First, change your mindset and stay adaptable. Don't be afraid of change.
Second, focus on your uniquely human, soft skills like empathy and communication. Be the person that everyone loves to work with.
Third, coexist with AI. Use it as a powerful tool to handle all those tedious, boring tasks, so you have more time for big, creative ideas.
And finally, embrace continuous learning. Keep your mind fresh, curious, and unstale. If you do these 4 things, AI will not replace you. It will empower you.
Empower. What a strong, positive word to end on. Empower means to give someone the power, confidence, or legal right to do something great.
Like a good teacher who empowers their students to speak English bravely, even if they make small mistakes. Or a new law that empowers citizens to protect the environment.
We want this podcast to empower you to face the future with a big smile and zero fear. The world is changing, but that just means there are new opportunities.
Opportunities are chances to do something better or to reach a goal, like the opportunity to find a more exciting job that uses your creativity instead of just your robot skills.
I feel much more optimistic now. AI is just a tool, like a hammer or a car. It is how we use it that really matters in the end.
I agree 100%. Well, we have covered a lot of ground today. We talked about fear, robots, empathy, and even burnt French chicken.
Haha, please don't remind everyone about my cooking disasters, but it was a very important lesson in being adaptable and staying human.
It definitely was. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of AI and the future of work. Remember, the future belongs to the curious
and to the learners. Thank you so much for joining us today in the lab. We truly appreciate your time and your dedication to improving your English.
Don't forget to check the description for the vocabulary list and those 3 important hashtags. We love reading your comments, so please share your thoughts.
See you in the next episode, where we will explore another fascinating topic to help you grow. Until then, keep practicing and keep being uniquely you.
Goodbye, everyone. Happy learning.
Bye-bye. See you next time.